everyone, Tim Schofield here, and we're going to take a look at the latest flagship phone from Nubia, the Z70 Ultra, and this includes the latest flagship Snapdragon 8 Elite chip inside. On top of that, they're including features that other phone companies aren't including in their flagship phones for some reason, even though this chipset supports it. Big thanks to Nubia for sponsoring this video and sending over the Z70 Ultra for us to check out. In this video, we're gonna take a quick look what comes in the box and then get some hands-on with this flagship phone, including that camera system on the back with a variable aperture. On top of that, take a look at the screen. Is there no front-facing camera? Yes, there is. It's under display. I will also link to the Z70 Ultra down below. Let's get started. Inside the box of the Z70 Ultra, you've got your SIM ejection tool, standard booklets, plus a case. I really do like the style of this case. It's not nearly as plain as what other companies will include, and there's cutouts for the side shortcut buttons. We'll talk about those in just a second. You also have a custom USB Type-C to Type-C cable with that red and black theme, and of course, your USB Type-C charging brick. The Z70 Ultra has a unique premium design, and I really do like that camera system on the back. It makes it feel like you're using a DSLR camera. On top of that, it's nice that the power button is textured, so it's really easy to find when locking and unlocking your phone. Also, really flat sides, a lot of real estate to hold on to, plus a flat display. Speaking of that display, check out how minimal those bezels are, and of course, no cutout at all for the front-facing camera since it's under the display. This is a 6.85-inch AMOLED display at a 1.5K resolution, and it can go all the way up to 144 hertz refresh rate. Everything looks really smooth. The colors really pop. It even gets up to 2000 nits max brightness, which is great when you're using your phone outside. And I do really appreciate using this full screen without the cutout while I'm watching videos. It's just a more premium experience, and I really wish more companies would dive into that under display front-facing camera so that you get the full screen. And I mentioned gaming, this is one of the first phones to get that Snapdragon Elite chipset, and gaming has been fantastic. Visually, it looks great, again, with that display. However, it's also really smooth, high performance. Frame rates have been very stable, even in prolonged gaming sessions. While in game, there's also a really useful game bar to keep track of different metrics. You can quick multitask and change different settings. Not just in gaming, performance has been great while multitasking, running multiple apps at once on top and bottom, and even their floating window. There's a feature if you pull in from the side, it will bring up a quick bar where you can open an app in a pop-up window, move it around, resize it. You can even minimize it into a bubble in the corner. It's super useful and makes multitasking a breeze. And again, everything has been really smooth and powerful. You might have also noticed the textured sliding switch on the side of the phone. When it comes to multitasking, this can quick launch specific applications or functions. You can completely customize it within settings, but then if you toggle it, it will switch to whatever setting that you have enabled, and if you toggle it off, it will go back to the app that you were specifically in. There's also functional options like silent, vibrate, flashlight on and off, and a lot more. Speaking of powerful, let's move on to that powerful triple camera system that's on the back. That 35mm main lens has 9 stops of a variable aperture, and you can even see it in action, opening and closing depending on the light situation. That 35mm lens gives you a focal length that's similar to the human eye, so your pictures look more natural. There's also an extremely useful camera button on the side. If you press and hold, it will quickly open up the camera app, and you can even half press it, and it will focus on your subject and then press it again to take a picture. This is a stacked triple camera system. That main sensor is 50 megapixels with the Sony IMX906 sensor with optical image stabilization, plus a 50 megapixel ultra wide angle lens that can also couple as a macro lens. And on top of that, a 64 megapixel telephoto lens that also takes advantage of optical image stabilization. The camera has a ton of different modes that are a lot of fun to try out. Starburst, there's a street mode if you really want to customize your shot. Pro mode is a good option. Also, a Milky Way night to take better shots of the sky and of the stars, and portrait mode where you can completely customize the aperture
and how much blur is going to happen in the background.
And I did mention features other companies aren't including. That includes 4K 120 frames per second. Video recording makes slow-mos look so much better at that higher resolution. And speaking of higher resolution, you can even shoot up to 8K 30 frames per second as well. Again, nice to really have those on a flagship phone. The Z70 Ultra is also dust-proof and waterproof with an IP68 rating, meaning you don't have to worry if you drop it in some water, if it's raining outside, if you're working out, you get sweat on it, and it stays free of dust as well. That under-display front camera is Nubia's 7th generation, and I'm really happy that they're sticking with it because it does make the phone screen look better. They use display tech that has a high transparency material with an invisible circuit design, and using nanostructured materials with high light transmittance on top of having Nubia's AI clarity algorithm 7.0, which gives you clearer details and reduced noise when you're taking selfies. Nubia actually takes advantage of generative AI when you take those selfies. The Z70 Ultra also utilizes a lot of other AI features, including translation. It can actually have real-time call translation, call subtitles, and those AI subtitles are really impressive. Check this out.
For the AI subtitles and translation, you can change the source between media and microphone. So if you're watching a video in a different language, it will translate it for you, change the voice language and the subtitle language. So let's do a quick test. It's actually a quick shortcut. Hey, how are you doing? Thanks for watching this video. And this is actually simplified Chinese, and it's doing a real-time translation of English to Chinese. You can switch to various languages. Hey, how are you doing? Thanks for watching this video. Look at that. On the fly, it switches to a different language. This is just such a really neat feature.
You also get a 6,150 milliamp hour battery in the Z70 Ultra, which really does make your phone last a long time, especially when coupled with that Snapdragon 8 Elite chip and its power efficiency. This phone will definitely last you all day. All in all, Nubia put together a really impressive phone with the Z70 Ultra. I do really love that full screen front display, the variable aperture on that camera, taking advantage of 4K 120 frames per second video recording as well. There's a lot of really useful features all packed into a very premium phone. Anyways, drop a comment. Let me know what you think about the Z70 Ultra. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe as well. As always, thanks for watching.